Okay, cool. This is James Middick speaking from trainingsites.io, and I got a fun one for you today. What I'm going to do is we're going to do some live prompting on the fly here, and I'm going to show you how to have a conversation with ChatGPT and go from an idea to a digital product. So we're going to do this live. This is in terms of the prompts. This is unscripted. And remember, it's called ChatGPT. It's not called I know how to prompt GPT. So we're just going to have a conversation with either ChatGPT or Claude. I think I might use both of them. I might actually spend most of the time prompting in Claude. And again, if you're not familiar with these, the links are below as well. And just to let you know, we're going to be doing this video. I don't know how long it's going to go, but I want to create probably maybe an online course, but it could be an ebook or whatever you want to do. It's a digital product for your small business. We're going to create it live in real time. I'll put all the links below, anything that you need to find out about what we covered in this. But just remember, if you do want this done with you, that's one of the services that I provide. So I'll actually go through this process with you to help create your digital product. And if you want to get started, just use the link below. Book some time with me, a half hour, we'll have a chat. You can let me know what you're up to, and I'll do my best to see if it's a good fit and it's something I can help you out with, creating your own digital product using AI tools. So that's what's actually going to happen today. And again, as I said, if there are any questions or comments, put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them moving forward. So I think this is really cool because you can create content, and good content that is authentic content, pretty quickly if you start as a baseline using the prompts and some of the tools that I'm going to show you how to use today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how to make sure that we have a good idea to actually create a course or a title by, who it's actually for, brainstorming, coming up with some ideas for the course. We'll build out a concept of how that might look and work. And then a basic marketing strategy we can cover, and then also some pricing and launch plans. So again, this is something we're just going to go through live, have some fun with it, see what happens, and we're going to make some prompts and see what we get back and go from there. So what have I got set up here just in the background? So I have two AI tools that I'm using. One is Claude.ai, and I have a paid version. The second one is I have ChatGPT 4.0, which is the newer one. I don't have the 4.0 mini, but I have the 4.0, and I do have a paid account. So those are the two tools that I'm using to generate the content that's here today. Do you have to have the pro or paid versions of these? No, you don't. You can start with what you have, and it will still create similar content. The other thing to remember is, as we're doing all of this work, is that when we do it live here today, you may not get the same results if you did it yourself. So you always have to go through and check these after, make sure that it's accurate for what you're trying to do. And it doesn't mean that if you put in the same word for word prompt, you're going to get the same word for word answer. Again, it's just an open conversation that we're going to use with some prompts to get the conversation started. And again, I'll print these all out at the end so that you do have them. So first things first, let's get started. I'm going to open up, I think we'll do ChatGPT just to see what happens on this one here. I'm going to open a new prompt, and what do you guys want to create a course on? What do you want to create some content for? Well, we could do it as you're a small business, you're looking to create a digital product, or maybe, for example, you are a wedding planner, or you have some kind of business that provides a service, and you want to, maybe create a course that supplements the service that you do, but you want to have a digital product to supplement it. So let's say, for example, you are a wedding planner and you want to create a course on wedding planning for couples. Or let's say, for example, you are technically any kind of service this will apply, but let's just assume that we're some kind of wedding planner and we're putting together a bit of a course, so we want to create a digital product. So usually what I do to start off with is I'll just kind of tell ChatGPT in this case, or Claude, what it is that I'm doing. So just wait. So I'm just going to type in the bottom here. Prompt will just start and say something along the lines and so it says, I have a small business, provides wedding planning services, and and just let's say well, I'm wedding planning service. I'm just going to say, you know what? I really want to create a course or digital product for my clients who are just getting started planning their weddings. Okay, so I'm just saying, look, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do. And you can just say planning their weddings. What are some ideas you have I'll just put that and just say, hey, I'm putting here, it's updating memory in ChatGPT, wedding planners, starter kit, step-by-step wedding planning course is one that comes up, themed wedding inspiration guides, DIY wedding planning toolkit, wedding planner workshops and webinars, vendor selection guide. So there's a whole bunch of different things that come up here, right? And you can look at these and say, okay, great, which is kind of the one that I'm interested in doing. And what I normally do here is I'm still in the research phase. So I'm talking about doing conversations, right? So you look at the list here and you go through them and you go, okay, great. Now, one of the things you remember with tools like ChatGPT and Claude, if you look at the bottom of the response, you're going to see that there's a number of icons here. So the first one is copy. So if you actually want to copy this text and put it into a Word doc or a Google Doc or save it in your notes just for something to move forward, you can always copy it and print it. If you don't like it, you can just regenerate it. That's the little regenerate one in the bottom. And you can get into audio prompts and some other pieces here. But the ones that I use are, if, hey, it's not what I want, I can regenerate it, but the one it's copied, so you just copy it, it puts it into the clipboard, and you can paste it to whatever document that you're keeping track of this. So I'm going to say, you know what, let's do a step-by-step wedding planning course, because we do online courses, training sites, that's the one I kind of focus on, not to say that the other ones works exactly the same way. You just say, I like the idea of a step-by-step course. Just say, what do you think should be in it? And again, this is not say, give me a course. It's like, what do you think should be in it? Have a discussion with ChatGPT. It's not about getting a perfect prompt. It's about doing some research. And the thing is, it's going through this now and it's taking a look and saying, okay, these are the modules or things that you're wanting to do. And you go, okay, well, that's kind of cool. Is this the stuff that I would do live? I'm a wedding planner. I put together, excuse me, weddings. Is this something that I would actually do with a client? These are the things you go through and you take a look at them. Now, what I'm going to do now is, because I have both accounts, right? I have both Claude and ChatGPT. It'd be pretty interesting to me anyway, is if I go take a look here, and let me just do, let's open up another tab here. It's going to open up, let me minimize this one. What am I going to do here? Let's do, I'm going to bring up another window. Let's minimize this one here. It was in full screen. So we'll minimize that one and we'll open up another Claude window. I'm just going to do start a new chat. So on this particular one, I'm starting a new chat in Claude, and the prompt that we had before was, I had a wedding planning one. I said I gave it a small business. I'm going to copy that one and let's see what Claude comes up with. So here's two different responses from two different chat tools, and we've got some different answers that come up. So all I'm saying is when you're doing these researches for a small business, if you want to start a small business, if you want to start a course, if you want to create an ebook, if you want to figure out how to do any of these things, don't be afraid to use both tools and find out what happens. And we've got some different examples there of what's going on and what you might want to consider. So here we go. I'm going to go and say, you know what? Interactive course, that one's kind of due. Tutorial series. I still like the idea of a course. So I'm going to actually go and I'm going to use Claude moving forward. And I'll show you why in a second, that it's kind of my personal preference on this one. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. So I'm just going to say further on here, okay, I'm going to say I've decided to create a course on DIY wedding planners, planning. So I'm just telling it that. Just say I've decided to create a course on wedding planning. I'm not saying give me a course syllabus. I'm not saying any of that at this point. Okay, so we're having a conversation and Claude automatically pulls out a lesson plan for us. Now there's two things that are kind of neat with this. And the reason I'm showing this with Claude for you is they do have a tool in Claude called artifacts. So when I actually generate, or it generates a response, it gives me a, if I click here, it shows me on the right-hand side the actual document. And one of the cool things is, and just so that you have this, remember I said you can copy and paste? The other thing you can do is if you look in the bottom right of the screen, right where my head is, let me just change the actual screen for you. If you look in the bottom right of the actual screen here, you'll see there's a thing called publish. And if you publish it, what it does is it actually gives you a page where you're saving the responses to the prompts. So I'm just going to copy that and then we'll see if we can get it to, maybe it's not with a project. Let me see. No, it didn't save it that time. Okay, it saved it on my other ones. Maybe it's because it's not in a project. Okay, we'll come back to that one after. See, these are live. I have no control over what happens or what doesn't happen. What I did earlier is I did create one just to show you what happens here, is I did save this. And if you look, this is an artifact. This is the response that I got from a previous prompt. So we're doing one on the wedding planner, and I'm just going to say, okay, that's great. If I want to do this, I'm just going to say, what do I want to say at this point? So that's great. Just do a response. I'm going to just say, just going to say, I want to make sure it's something that's going to sell, right? So I'm just going to say, that's great. What type of demand will there be for this course? Because I want to kind of know, right, what's going on in the market. I know my market, but what's going on for a course? Okay, so these are some things about some market research, where you can look for past clients, that kind of thing. And the thing with Claude is it doesn't have access to the actual, it can't browse a particular website. If you have perplexity.ai or some of the other tools, you might want to take a look at those ones and do a little bit more research, but this gives you a little bit of background on it. And if I want to go and I say, well, I'm thinking of the course, and I'm taking a look at these ones, and I go, okay, great, that's a pretty good idea for the course. Planning, weapon, and I'm just going to say, who would be best? I want to know who would be the best customer. Best type of student. So I want to know what kind of person is going to want this course. Who's be interested in it? Who's someone that would go, yeah, I'm really, really interested in that. It's going to give me some prompts here or some things to think about while I'm filling that one out. And we'll open it up. So this is the ideal student persona for DIY wedding planning. And again, it gives me all of the different pieces that are happening there. It actually gives me an actual avatar, someone that's available for me. Student M and Alex. Cool, okay, so I got an idea who it's for. And at this point you're going, okay, great. I understand that I can create this kind of background or prompt here for me. What do I need to do from here? How do I take what I've got, someone that I think I have an idea of who's looking for this particular course, how do I kind of create something that puts it together that would allow me to, kind of figure this out? And so I'm just going to take a look at this, and I'm going to say, if this is one that I've used before, it's like, if I was going to create a course or digital product, doesn't have to be, if I was going to course or digital product or ebook or checklist or whatever, create a course for this target customer, what prompt, or I just say, what is a prompt that I can use to create detailed and I want to have 7 lessons in this particular course. I want it too big, but I want it too small, so it's kind of a mini course. But I'm creating a prompt for DIY wedding planning course, and I'm asking it, what should I do for the prompt? I'm not figuring out a fancy prompt. I'm asking ChatGPT to give me a prompt to actually do. So click here to open the document. And what I'll do here is I'll just say, copy this. So I can just copy it if I want to. And then what I'll do is I'll put it in, and I'll use the prompt that ChatGPT or Claude gave me, and it's going to generate the actual course for me. Okay, so here is the course that's done up. And again, I haven't given any fancy prompts. I haven't done anything other than have a conversation. And when you actually ask the AI tool to give you the prompt or give you what it is that is being created, it makes things a lot easier. Sorry, I had the screen actually just on, not on my head before, but I'll show you what I did again just one more time so it works. So what I did, as I said, I was going to create a course for this target market. What is the prompt that I can use to get to create a detailed 7-lesson course? And it generated for me, and all I did is it gave me the prompt here. All I did is in the bottom right is I copied it, and then I gave it back the prompt, and then this is what it gave me. It gave me the actual course lesson output that I can use. So from here, we've got all of the content that we need to use to create a course. Now, how would you use this if you were looking at putting together an ebook, or you were looking to put together a checklist? Any digital product that you're thinking of, you can just kind of give some background of what it is you're trying to do, tell people what it's for, and then more importantly, get it to do a bit of a profile for you. Now, if you're stuck, you're really stuck and you go, I don't know what people really need. And I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to do another prompt here. I'm going to say, you know what? Before I start the course, I'm just going to say, I want to make sure what my potential students want to know about DIY wedding planning. I'm just going to say, what are the top 100 questions that come up. Again, I'm just typing these in on the fly. Just going to say, what are the top 100 questions that come up for couples? So it's given me a list, but you know what? I just want to really make sure that it is covering what I want to cover, because I need to help customers who have questions, not just stuff that I think is important. And it looks through and it's created a list of 100 different questions that most of these people have. And again, when you're creating a course or online content, the purpose of it, if it's not for entertainment, it's to educate. And if it's educate, you have to make sure that you're answering the questions that the people you're helping have, not just questions that you think should be answered. So we've created 100 questions here. And I'm just going to say to them, you know what? I want to make sure, just going to say, from those 100 questions, which ones can be answered So I'm just saying, you know what, there's 100 questions. I'm going to say, you know what, which of these can actually be covered or are covered in the course? Which ones are directly addressed? So it's taking a look through and it's saying, okay, here's the detailed course outline I gave you. I'm just going to make sure where things are covered in the questions here. So we've got a 7-day program and it's gone through a whole bunch of them, and it actually lets me know which are the ones that I can cover. Okay, so pretty cool. There we go. Questions addressed. You can take a look through these now and go, you know what? Are these the ones that are important to me in my expertise? Are these the ones that most people have that I know? Are the ones that are not there that should be there? Do I want to place more focus on some or not focus on some? But you can see what's happening here. We're fleshing out, we're doing our research, we're getting the content all put together so that you're in a place where you can actually go, okay, I'm ready to create some actual content. And what happens with that? Okay, so you can do all sorts of things from here. And one of the ones is an example, and I've covered this on other sections, is if you are creating a written course that does or has some graphics, or you are creating a video where you're going to talk to the camera, or you're going to be using some slides or slide decks for that, what you can do is when you go back and you take a look through that course program that you put together before the questions, and we go take a look at these ones here, the DIY planning guide that came up for us here, where it has the crafting your dream day, main objectives. Okay, so what we can do is we can just go through and, okay, so what we can do is just say, you know what, lesson 1, laying the foundation. I'm just going to say, let's do this and we'll go back and take a look at creating some of the content here. So I'm just going to say, I'm just saying lesson 1, the one you gave me, laying the foundation, vision, budget, and timeline is the first lesson. I need to create the content for that. I'm just saying, there's where I am, this is what I need to do. So I'm saying, give me a script. Give me a prompt. I want it to give me a prompt. I just want to say, how long do I want my, I think the lesson, how long do I want the lessons? I want the lessons to be about 7 minutes long. So I'm just saying, you know what? Give me a prompt that I can use that will generate what I need to have happen here. So it's going to go through and it's actually going to create a script for me to follow or use to create the content. Now, if you're not using video, one of the things we could have done is just said, okay, what needs to happen here? There we go. Prompting. Description. And I think in some of the other sessions, I talked about creating mega prompts. We've been doing conversational prompts, right? Where we're talking back and forth. At this point, I need the details. I need specific content, specific details that I can generate quickly. Here's an example of where I've asked ChatGPT to create the prompt or a mega prompt that I can use to generate the content. And what you can do is you can actually go through, if you're doing an ebook, if you're doing a checklist, you can do this and create a mega prompt that you can then use for each of the individual lessons. So I'm going to copy this one. And there we go. So I'm just going to copy and paste this one in. So all I've done is I've said, give me a particular prompt. It's given me the prompt and I'm copying and pasting the prompt in. And I've now got slides information that I need. I've got the words that I can say into the camera. I have the text that can be put directly on the slides. And I'm in a position where I can create content right now. So this is lesson 1. It's put together. The cool thing here is when you're doing these prompts and the scripts that you get back, I'm a big fan of personalizing the scripts, right? I think I talked about this in the different kinds of scripts to follow. It's like a super detailed script where it's word for word. There's the talking point ones, and then there's the ad hoc kind of scripting. I'm a big fan of bullet points and mind mapping, and putting these together and having it as something that's available here. But we've now got everything that you need to do in terms of a script. And again, you can adjust these prompts. If I go back and let's take a look at this one here. There's the script. Let me just look at the one here. So this was the prompt that was created, right? This is the one that ChatGPT gave me to use. If I wanted to do 10 minutes, you can just do 10 minutes. If you change the text for the different title, it does the same one with a timeline, spoken content description, some visual elements for slide, and the structure of it. You can use some additional tools here. For example, there's another tool called, I think it's Beautify. Let me just open this one up here. Beautiful.ai. And here's one there. It'll actually create content for you. So you could actually go to the chat and say, I'm going to be using this tool, Beautify, that requires these kind of things. Create the slides for me. So if you don't even want to create the slides and just have a basic slide deck, or you just want a specific graphic, you could change the text to the prompt and say, give me a graphic, or generate the prompt for a graphic from some of the other tools like Dolly or any of the other ones that generate images. And you can actually get the prompt, create the prompt that you can use to create the actual content. So this is pretty cool stuff when you think about it. We just went through, how many minutes are we going? I don't even know how many minutes I've been talking at this point. But the thing is, we just had a conversation and we've got all of our content. And this one here that I created, remember that one for laying the foundation for vision, budgets, and timeline? If I go back and I take a look and I say, okay, well, what was the second lesson that we had? This one here. Let's do this one here. Persona. Just going to go through and find the actual. What's the second topic? What's the other lesson there? What was the first one? Just want to make sure I have. Oh, lesson 2 was. So I'm just going to copy this one. We'll go back down and I'm just going to say, so all I did is I didn't even add the prompt. I said do the same for lesson 2. Do the same for lesson 3, do the same for lesson 4, and we've now got everything that we need to do to create the content. So you can continue through these steps, and the next thing you're probably doing is you're going, okay, great, I got some course content. What do I need to do next? Well, wouldn't it be great if you had some actual marketing material for this? And these are the things that you can get into and start saying, I need some content. Like, for example, you just might want to say, need to have a sales page for this new course. I'm just going to say what kind of content should be on the page. I'm not great at sales pages. I don't feel salesy. I'm really good at wedding planning, but I don't want to get too salesy. So here's the actual information that it says it should be on. And there's a lot of stuff there, right? And you're probably going, well, you know what? There's a lot of things there. I'm not overly comfortable writing any of that or putting it together. And you might just clarify and say, you know what? I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm not overly comfortable being real salesy. I don't want to do all this internet marketing stuff. You can do the flip side of this as well. But if you were doing it and saying, hey, I don't want to be too salesy or too pushy, I'm just going to say which of those content blocks are mandatory or are ones that I should always have. In the course description, so all I did is here, I said, you know what? I don't want to come across as too salesy, too pushy, but I understand there's 20 different blocks there that you're suggesting goes in the course description, but I really don't want to get that pushy. So what are the kind of minimum pieces that I have to put in? What are the different content blocks or pieces that are kind of mandatory? So I'm just asked Claude in this case, or ChatGPT, same one, and just say, what's kind of the bare minimum, right? Student description, course overview, a little bit of information, FAQ. Okay. And it gives me all of these pieces here. So I'm not overly interested in, writing these myself. So I say, based on that, just saying, based on that, create a sales page that I can use to describe the course we've put together. So I'm just saying, hey, give me the content. How can I describe it? And I'm in that position right now. It's going to create the sales page. I'll be able to copy and paste it and use it in my particular course. Now, if you're creating courses, if you're actually going to be selling it on some of the tools that are available to host your website, you'll be able to copy and paste this directly into the tool. And the areas that it shows up, for example, I'll just open up another screen here. Let's do this one here. I'll open up one of the courses that I just did this for so that you can see it. And remember, any of this stuff that you're playing around with, you go, oh, it's not for me, I don't want to have too much time with it. Here's one here, for example, where here's the description of the course that I had ChatGPT put together. What you'll learn, who it's for, what sets it apart, bonuses, don't miss out, the content. So this is the stuff that's going to get created for us here, right? So if we go back on the right-hand side, you're going to see that it's got what you'll learn, the courses, who is for, dream wedding, the course overview. And again, this is all of the content that you can cut and paste directly into the learning management system or the place where you're hosting your course. So I'm just trying to, the thing that I'm doing here, we're going through some of the pieces. I just want to, I'm kind of excited because this is stuff that used to take weeks and months to put together when we first started. You can do these just by conversing with your AI tool. Just have a conversation, but understand this is the process. It's like, here's my idea. What do you think? Here's who it's for. Put something together, create the content, create the description, and even, you know what, you say, I need to say, I have a list. I'm going to say I have an email of 400 subscribers. You can just be starting out, doesn't really matter. You need to introduce so I need to introduce it to my potential buyers. And I'm just telling it what I need to do. I'm not saying give me a particular one. And it gives you some prompts back. It just says, hey, let's create an email campaign already. It figures this stuff out. And you're going to get, if you look on the right-hand side, you're actually getting the actual email copy. And you might want to say, you know what? You take a look at them and go, okay, that's interesting. You say, I want the email to be more conversational and friendly. So I'm a wedding planner. I know it can be overwhelming. I'm going to say, you know what? Those are short emails are fine to get started, but I want them to be more conversational and more friendly. I know that there's a lot of decisions that my customers need to have. They get overwhelmed. They don't know what to do next. So I just said, should be addressed in the emails. And I prompted, I said, hey, let's try that again. So it creates another set of emails that I can look at these and go through and say, these ones are more likely for me to want to send because they address the needs of the people that we've been going through. Now, the interesting thing here, and just something to think about when you're doing all this, is we have done this in a single prompt or a single chat, pardon me. Now, why is that important? Because if you do continually different chats for different pieces, so for example, let's say we did a chat for the research part. And we said, okay, great, I get that, that's fine. And then I open up another chat and say, give me a course syllabus and let's talk about the course. So I get that all laid out with my content. And then I open up another chat that's all about the email and the marketing. Each time that we do all of this in one particular chat, it keeps the context of the responses specific to the previous chats or previous prompts that we've given it. And that's the real beauty of doing things with Claude and the projects that it has, because we can actually upload some of our checklists. If I'm a wedding planner, I could go and upload some of the checklists, my documents that I've written, and put it into a project and add it or make sure that it's part of the context that it starts from at the very beginning. So it brings my resources into the actual chat and then makes, using the prompts, creates an even more detailed background for all of the responses that it's giving you. So if you're happy with these, you know, I've got 3 emails that are pulled out there. There's one. Okay, and I'm just going to say, keeping that same style. Series of, how many emails do we want? Let's say so keeping the same style, because I like the style that we've got there, right? So I want a series of emails now that I can set in an email marketing automation that I can send over 2 weeks to sell the course. So I'm just saying, telling the prompt to say, hey, this is what I want you to do. Friendly style over a 2-week period. And there we've now got our email marketing put together. While it's doing that, and say, you know what? I really need some social media, right? So I'm going to say, well, social media best for me, Instagram. Instagram is a big part of my marketing. So I'm just telling what's going on here. It's a big part of my marketing. What I need to do is I need to probably have a good background. Let me pull this one up, sorry. Instagram is a big part of my background here. I want to make sure that, what are some content ideas? So I'm not saying, hey, create Instagram prompts. I'm saying, hey, this is a situation. Instagram's a big part of my marketing. What are some prompts that I can use to do this? And there we go, tutorial teasers, seasonal content. So it's now given me 15 different things that I can do to promote the course. We've now got information there. You can even go as far as say, create 25 you know what, I want to put some stuff on Twitter, so I'm just saying give me 25 prompts that I can use. And you can fine tune these ones to get ones that are important to you or that fit well with you. So this stuff, when you go through it, it's very, very easy to do. You can create any kind of content that you want quickly and easily. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to kind of go through a process of what are the pieces that you need for the content that you're creating. But anyone can create these. This isn't something that is incredibly hard. It's all about conversations, having chats with the tools that are available to you, being able to create content and put it together and verify what it is that you're doing. So here's kind of the wrap up on this. I've got, out of all of this stuff, we've got more than enough to create content for the course, marketing, whatever it is we're doing. And again, I just want to make sure you understand it doesn't have to be a course. It can be any kind of digital content, whether that's a checklist, an ebook, anything like that. You go through the exact same process to create content. You have to go through it yourself. And the reason is because your story and the way that you respond in the conversation is the thing that flavors the responses that you get. So if you want help doing this, just let me know. Give me a call below. Book some time. You'll see on the screen below there. Book some time with me, and I would love to help you out and create your own content using the AI tools. And I've got a program put together for you that we can talk about if you just want to book some time there. I'll do it with you. So it's not you left by yourself just following something that we've done in these videos. And it's not me just telling you what to do. I'll actually do it with you. We'll have 2 calls a week where we can get started on that. And at the end of it, I'm going to try do them in a month. At the end of the month, you'll have your own course ready to go, ready to sell, where you'll have the course content, the emails, even ideas for social media posts, and even some of the content for your posts. So if you want to find out about that, make sure to like and subscribe. book some time with me on the talk, and we'll have some fun with this. This is absolutely exciting times for me because this stuff is happening so quickly and it's getting so much better each and every week. We're in a huge position as content creators and online course creators and educators, people wanting to teach online, that we're going to be able to really make an impact on other people's lives. And that's the cool part. So take care, expect the best, like and subscribe, all of that good stuff on the channel. I do these every day. They're live streams, real stuff, real mistakes, all me, all the time. So take care, expect the best. We'll see you tomorrow.